Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Back in March, Disney Plus released X-Men 97, and I have to admit, it was a lot better than I was even remotely expecting. A lot of fans thoroughly enjoyed it. The animation, the throwback to the original animation style, and there were a couple of things I didn't really care for, a couple of things that bothered a lot of people that were just whatever to me. But the odd thing, one of the stories surrounding X-Men 97 was that roughly 2 weeks before the show even aired, the showrunner, Bo DeMayo, was unceremoniously fired from Disney. Now, more recently, well, after he was fired, there was no real information. There's that they parted ways. There was nothing but speculation, because that's all we could do. No information as to why he was fired. And it was nothing but speculation. Well, more recently, news came out that they announced the new showrunner for season 3, as well as some adjustments, rewrites, some script changes coming in for season 2. And as far as I'm concerned, that just means season 2 is going to be a pile of hot garbage. And yet still, no discernible reason as to why all this was happening, why Bo DeMayo was fired, why he was also removed from any and all credits for season 2, and why the rewrites were happening. But more recently, a few people have spoken out. We got here that Park Place Marvel responds to X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DeMayo's claim that he was fired for Pride Instagram post. This is going to get fun. It was reported in the middle of March by Hollywood Reporter that DeMayo was fired and he, quote, will no longer be promoting the show and moving forward with future seasons. The report detailed that DeMayo's company email was shut down at the beginning of March. Cast and crew for the series were notified he would no longer be working on the project, which is a shame because X-Men 97 Season 1 was fantastic. Almost like it was made by someone who cared about the characters and the story itself. The report details, I see, read that already. No longer be working on it. The firing comes after DeMayo had reportedly completed writing a second season, which is now being rewritten, and was preparing for the third season, which is being done by someone else. However, Marvel Animation's Brad Winderbaum rejected these claims, telling Entertainment Weekly, quote, I can't talk about the details, of course not, because heaven forbid you want some bad news getting out there, but I can say that Bo had real respect and passion for these characters. If only we could get that across the entertainment industry, video games included, and wrote what I think are excellent scripts. Why are you rewriting the second season? If they are such excellent scripts, why redo the second season? Oh, because you don't want him involved anymore. What on earth did he do? Excellent scripts that really the rest of the team were able to draw inspiration from to build this amazing show on screen. I do not have any hope for season 2, but anyway. He then specifically rejected the claim that DeMayo was fired. Well, that turns out as being a lie now. When asked if he would describe DeMayo's departure as a firing, Winderbaum responded, quote, I don't. We parted ways is the best way I could say. He was let go. He was fired, and you're not supposed to talk about it now. You already saw it, so let's put it back on the screen. DeMayo recently posted on X that he was indeed fired and claimed he was fired over a gay pride post to Instagram depicting himself as a member of the X-Men. Now, regardless of who is saying this, based on the atmosphere, the environment behind the scenes at Disney, this is very difficult for me to believe. We all know why. Disney promotes the LGBTQ community. They promote the pride community. They push and promote all of this in their marketing, behind the scenes, in their shows, in their parks, over and over, to the point where people are kind of tired of it. And they want more just regular old everyday stories ahead of the ideological nonsense. There's nothing wrong with having these in your stories. There's nothing wrong with promoting LGBTQ, the alphabet community. There's nothing wrong with that. But when everything else suffers because that's what you're promoting, then people are having a problem with it. And that is why people have a problem with it. But let's continue. DeMayo wrote, quote, firstly, I'm so grateful to have worked on X-Men 97. And yes, DeMayo, we are grateful that you did too. It's unfortunate that season 2 is going to be trash. Collaborating with some amazingly talented folks creating this revival was a dream come true, and the support fans have shown is so touching. However, I felt it pressing for me to speak up in the wake of leaving the show. According to DeMayo, this is why he was let go. He continued, above its X-Men fan art I posted on Instagram for Gay Pride in June. On June 13th, Marvel sent a letter notifying me they'd stripped my Season 2 credits due to the post. Well, if you have the letter, that would go a long way with people believing you. Remember those little thing we call receipts that we're always talking about? Bring receipts. But he says, I'll have more to say soon, but must take a step back from social media to find a safer space for me to be out, proud, and nerdy. Stay tuned. Well, if your work on X-Men 97, you have a lot of fans on your side, regardless of what you do in your personal life, we don't care. Just, make good stories. Just keep making good stories. Please. We're begging you. Marvel Studios responded to the accusations. Here's where things get interesting. And I like their choice of words because, there was another individual that got unceremoniously let go to what they called egregious posts on social media that just simply weren't. So take this with a grain of salt and you make your own decision. DeMayo, let's see. Marvel Studios responded to this accusation from DeMayo, telling Variety of all places, quote, Mr. DeMayo was terminated in March 2024 following an internal investigation. Trust me, bro. Given the egregious nature of the findings that we're not going to tell anyone, we severed ties with him immediately, and he has no further affiliation with Marvel. Furthermore, Variety's Adam B. Very and Katzy Steffen shared, quote, a source, trust me, bro, with knowledge of the investigation said evidence was discovered of sexual misconduct and that DeMayo repeatedly violated his termination agreement, which led to the removal of his credits in Season 2. Now, if there is an agreement, his termination agreement, that can be true. And honestly, there's nothing you can do about that. My understanding, I've mentioned this before, I follow Clownfish TV. You should as well. Neon over there worked with Disney. I believe Geeky Sparkles did as well. But he worked in the art department doing comic books. I believe Scrooge McDuck. I loved it. Anyway, he talked about the NDAs and the termination agreements from Disney being rather strict. So it is possible that he could have violated, if they said, do not promote the show, we don't want your name attached to it at all, and he went and did it anyway, that is a breach of contract, end of discussion. However, this evidence of sexual misconduct, if there is sexual misconduct going on behind the scenes, you might need to go a little further. I don't know. Do you take that as at face value, given Disney's history of, fabricating or not giving the entire truth? Is it possible? Did Beau DeMayo act a little untowardly to members of the opposite sex, the same sex, considering, he is a gay black man? It's just interesting. We're waiting for more news to come out because, again, DeMayo came out and had something a little bit more to say, despite claiming he was taking a step back from social media. DeMayo responded to this report on X, saying, the truth will be revealed. After their Disney Plus disaster, Marvel wants to mislead with alleged contract breaches over tweets. It's tragic it's come to this, but unsurprising. Stay tuned. Now, this tweet was posted on good old August 16th, a couple days ago, 2024. So I do genuinely look forward to seeing where this story goes, because the more information we have, the better off we are to knowing what are the business practices behind the scenes at Disney. What sort of things do they just decide to let you go over? You say the wrong thing, or maybe, just maybe that little post on Instagram was the straw that broke their camel toes back, and they use it as an excuse, much like other people who have been let go in the past. He also added to another post, this is their Disney Marvel's usual playbook, legal letters as well as other items to prove their long-standing pattern to follow. It's about finding a safe outlet. Thanks for your faith and patience. I do definitely look forward. Let's see. Park Place keeps going. It's hard to believe DeMayo was stripped of his X-Men 97 Season 2 duties and fired from the show over posting gay pride posts on Instagram. It is difficult to believe. Marvel regularly posts their own posts like that, pushing these disordered lifestyles. Come on, John, don't do that. But yes, Marvel, Disney, they do not have a problem pushing this ideology on their social media. So why would this get DeMayo in trouble? There are two groups that know the truth behind everything that's going on. And one of them, being Bo DeMayo, has decided that he's going to come clean with it. So we'll be keeping an eye on this one. I am interested. Definitely. What receipts does Bo DeMayo have? What sort of information is he going to give out there? Because we're definitely going to need some receipts in this. And if it is indeed, if he can show beyond a shadow of a doubt that, this investigation, this so-called investigation, is not putting out all the truth with baseless accusations against Bo DeMayo, and that he was indeed fired for something foolish, an Instagram post, I don't think this looks too good for Disney when it comes to that particular little lawsuit going on with Gina Carano. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTubers beg you to do, and hope to see you on the next one.